Warning, the following video is restricted to level 4 plus personnel, and unauthorized personnel will be immediately terminated through the Cowboy Anime Medic Kill Agent. You have been warned.
Airbloods, Fisher here, and today we're talking about the SCP Foundation. More specifically, we're talking about, if you really think about it, they're pretty awful. Now, I know what you're going to say. The famous quote, "The Foundation is cold, not cruel." And, I'm sure that's enough for most people. Sure, they do some fucked up shit, but they do it for the protection of mankind, right? But is it all really necessary? I'd like to begin by bringing up a theoretical scenario, and you can decide what you do. You have a bomb in front of you. The power of the bomb is unknown. It could have the same power of a hand grenade, or it could be equivalent to a nuke. Lucky for you, there was a big red button on the front that could disarm the bomb instantly. But you get curious. How does this bomb explode? How big is the blast radius? So, you have a choice. Do you disarm the bomb and annihilate the threat entirely? Or do you study the bomb? The possibility of it exploding being very real. Every second you don't disable it. Whatever you choose here, there's downsides and upsides. If you try to disarm the bomb, how do you know it won't go off anyway? Or it will activate some countermeasure and do something worse than simply explode. On the other hand, if you study the bomb, you have no idea when it could explode, and how many people it could hurt. But you'd have more knowledge on how to deal with these kind of bombs, potentially mitigating casualties in the future. The point of this is to demonstrate the two ideologies at play with these two organizations, the SCP Foundation and the Global Occult Coalition. The GOC is a government organization with the same goal as the Foundation: protect humanity from the anomalous. Where they alternate is the GOC likes to disarm the bomb, thinking its continued existence is a threat to humanity, whereas the Foundation would rather study the bomb, gathering more information to deal with threats like it in the future. Now, whoever you decide with in this argument, we can't ignore how many people died because the Foundation refused to disarm the bomb. Now, I'm not saying the GOC are perfect. Their philosophy is sound, but their methods can be a little blunt. Sure, one of their missions is to expand their knowledge of the anomalous, but most of the time they barge in and try to use brute force over anything else. And sure, this has definitely gotten people killed. Hell, in SCP-1261 it suggested they massacred an entire village over an anomaly that made people believe they had a pet bird. So, overall, both philosophies have their own downsides, but the Foundation seems more logical at face value. Again, the philosophy is sound, but there's some major flaws once you look into it. Now, before we go on, I'm going to mention a lot of articles from the wiki in this video, all of which I'll link in the description if you want to give any of them a read. I'm not going to worry about if they all exist in the same canon or not, because it's very difficult to talk about the moles of an organization that exists in infinite timelines. So we're going to talk about them as a collective, because all of these examples are what any version of the Foundation could do. Now, that's out of the way, we can get into some examples. So, starting off with a pretty popular example, SCP-096. Now, I know that the Foundation is currently actively trying to terminate 096, but what did it take for them to start trying? A researcher orchestrating a breach of 096, showing how dangerous he can be to the population. In his own words,
"There was only a matter of time until that happened in a major population center, and its fate spread over the world news."
It was only until the Foundation started trying to kill the thing. Why did it need to go that far? Its danger is apparent on the cover, yet they would rather study it because what? What's the purpose of studying something like this? 096 only causes death and destruction, and they'd rather keep it in a box, waiting for it to kill again. They gain nothing off of studying it. They should have been trying to kill it the moment they knew what it was capable of. Not doing so is just ignorant. Now, there are many SCPs this point applies to, another popular one being SCP-173. 173 has literally ended the world in several other realities, which in most canons the Foundation can see other realities, but yet they choose to keep researching it, and I'm just saying, dip into some acid or something, and he's done. He's literally just concrete and rebar. An article that can be sourced as a rebuttal to this is SCP-1609, which used to be a harmless anomaly. It was a chair that teleported to you when you needed a seat. After the GOC was done with it, it became a pile of wood chippings. which when threatened teleports itself into the lungs of the person that threatened it. Now, obviously in this situation, the GOC are in the wrong, but the Foundation viewing this through a black and white lens by saying,
"This is why we're right and the GOC is wrong."
it's just silly. There's a lot more to unpack here than who's right or wrong. Sure, the GOC's actions here made the situation worse, but that's because the GOC didn't take the time to research the anomaly before trying to kill the thing. The main thing I think we can take from this situation is that the two groups should combine their ideals, researching the anomaly and finding the best way to kill it before it can hurt people. Obviously, there are cases when killing the anomaly wouldn't be the best course of action, such as with SCP-1609. It'd probably be better just to keep it around, but that can be decided with research, which anomalies pose a threat to humanity and which do. But both organisations are too stubborn in their ideals to see this as anything more than that organisation bad, which is just stupid. I could go on with this, but I think you get the point. Another thing is that the Foundation goes way too overboard on their pursuit for knowledge. They do completely inhumane things just because they need to know, when the information they figure out is completely unnecessary to their mission of protecting humanity. An example of this is SCP-3108, or the Nerfing Gun. This SCP is a Nerf gun that makes everything it's shot at a worse version of itself. You think that'd be enough information to go off, just put that thing in a box and call it a day, right? Nope, of course not. It has to be tested on everything. It started out simple, just being used on pieces of paper, and then coffee mugs, and then VHSs. But then it had to go further, and they started using it on living things, starting off with a rat, which turned into an ant, and then a golden retriever, which turned into a very large cat. But then they went a step further and used it on humans. The first human they tested on was shot with the gun once, turning into a Neanderthal. But then, if it couldn't get any worse, the next subject they shot 46 fucking times. 46. What the fuck is the point of this? This is a prime example of the Foundation needlessly pursuing knowledge without thinking about whether they need it or not. Oh great, we now know that the gun that makes things worse made a human being into a fucking germ. Good one lads, humanity's a lot safer with this information. While SCP-1609 was an example of the GOC unknowingly making an anomaly more dangerous, SCP-3108 shows the Foundation purposely using an anomaly for a dangerous and outright inhumane purpose, when its original intent was just to be used as a joke. This intent is proven when the creator of the gun, member of the GOI, Gamers Against Weed, was interrogated and learned about what the Foundation used the gun for, where he then said,
It was supposed to be a joke. It was funny. I changed Mass Effect 2 into Mass Effect 3, my neighbor's SUV into a smart car. I didn't use it on people. You bastards. Why would you do that? I'm not a murderer, damn it. Why? Why would you turn a joke into a torture device? Get out of my cell. I'm done talking.
I can't think of one good reason why these experiments needed to be done. And the worst part is they would have gone further had it not been for the ethics committee finally stepping in and stopping testing on humanoid subjects. Thank God, right? Oh God, let's just move on. I'd like to take a second here to bring up the use of D-Class. While I understand their use in this field of research, as some anomalies do require human interaction to contain and study safely, and the use of D-Class allow more vital members of the Foundation to not put themselves in harm's way. That's all well and good when the D-Class are death row inmates. However, there is a concern when the Foundation starts taking homeless people and orphans off the street to use in their experiments. This is shown in many articles. The most notable one I'm going to mention here is SCP-956, which is a piñata that only affects children now under the age of 13. When it does activate, it paralyzes the child and then bashes the victim's chest until it explodes and candy falls out. Pretty fucking grim, right? Now you'd think, the Foundation would have purposely put children in front of this thing, right? Which is, the sane thing to think. But yes, they did. While not said directly in the article, it is said they did testing on the thing, which almost definitely involved killing innocent children just so they can learn the range of candies that can fall out of the victim, amidst other things. After all that, I'm hard pressed to find a reason to defend the Foundation at all. Everything they do is just so inhumane to the point where they're just completely disconnected from humanity. It really brings their real purpose into question, because it's obvious that protecting humanity is not their real goal. So what is it? Well, I have a theory. While the protecting humanity thing is what the normal employees at the Foundation are told to keep them in line and working, I believe the real purpose is to study the anomalous so the O5 Council can use them for their own personal gain. I mean, most of the Council are anomalous in nature themselves, and almost all of them have used anomalous means to extend their life. just seemed like a lot of their research is pointless to their actual goal, to the point where this is the only solid explanation I can think of. And sure, the Foundation have saved the world a few times, but was it because of their mission? Or just because the O5 didn't want to die? Well, I guess that's for you to decide. Thanks for watching.